Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. While the world is bracing itself for a full pandemic, Seiko has released a few new models. Well, actually they have released some pictures on the USA website, I believe, and then removed them. So on top of the new models that I was talking about in my last video, here are pictures of other things to come in 2020. So they're really throwing it all out, everything you asked for and things you didn't ask for. Everything is there. So let's take a look. I think the most interesting bit here is perhaps the affordable version of the famous Captain Willard. So you know they had reissued that legendary diver model that you saw on the wrist of Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now, in a very expensive format, about 4,000 US dollar, as an SLA model with the 8L 35, I believe, caliber inside. Limited edition, of course. Now, not even a year later, they come up with the affordable Prospects version in a format that we are getting pretty accustomed to. Of course, you have that dreadful Prospects insignia in the middle of at the bottom of the dial there. So what can we tell about these watches? I say two because apparently it's going to come in two colors, the regular one and then some sort of pretty lively green version. They're quite close to the SLA and to the original watch. So the handset is more straight, but it has a bit of a triangle, pointy end, let's say. The indices are fairly close, so now you have the square indices, which helps differentiating this watch from the turtle, which to me is the modern interpretation of that watch to begin with. And I think a newbie in the Seiko hobby would be hard pressed to see any difference between those watches. But as geeks, obviously, we see that immediately. But what sticks out the most, literally, is the crown and the crown guard at the top of it. It really sticks out compared to the SLA version, and a lot more compared to the turtle, especially the King Turtle, the one I just got, and I really enjoyed that watch. And that's going to be a big point of contention. So the position of the crown is a bit higher than the SLA version, maybe because of the 6R35 caliber architecture, or maybe it was a choice from Seiko to do it that way, to sort of differentiate it so that people who paid a lot of money don't get too angry about this one and are able to say, oh, this one is ugly compared to mine. It is quite ugly how it sticks, and maybe it's ugly beautiful. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Personally, I'm not very fond of it, and you know they kind of do that, and we'll see with the next model I'm going to talk about. They can do it perfectly the first time, but they usually do it wrong wrong at first. So everybody gets excited, buys it, and then a year later they have to buy the other better version of it. So yeah, that's coming out. I don't think it's going to be for me, but I'll check it out. But I just got the King Turtle, really happy, and I think that the integration of the cushion case and the crown guards is better than this model. But I do like the square indices, that's for sure. Moving on to the baby 62 MAS, or the mini 62 MAS. I was mentioning the blue dial version that we see here on the right. Apparently there will be two more versions. And you will notice, just like on the Captain Willard, a new type of strap apparently appearing. That might be a blessing. We'll see. That's going to be interesting to check it out, because the current silicone straps are very, very comfortable, but not to everyone's taste. The bracelet kind of looks similar and still an improvement apparently. So here we see a couple of new colors sort of a brownish one and a more golden brown hue. I personally don't like them too much on picture. We'll have to see in person. It's probably much nicer in person when you see how they play with the light. But there you go. This is coming out as well. And as I was just saying, a couple of years ago, they came up with this watch, but with the wrong indices, while they obviously could have come up straight away with indices that are more in line, and also the handset that are more in line with the SLA version of this watch and the original inspiration for the watch. So that's the kind of thing that personally annoys me very much. It feels like they put out one product, making it wrong on purpose to sell that, and then make you want the better version. So this one probably will have a better spec, 6R35 movements. Not sure if this one will have the ceramic bezel. It is likely to have it. We'll see. I think the blue one is probably the nicer, and it's going to be the more popular version. Now the Samurai gets also the King treatment like the Turtle did. King Samurai sounds stupid, and Shogun is already taken. So let's call it the Super Samurai. Waffle dial, ceramic bezel, I guess 6R35 movement. Looks like the strap remains the same. Case architecture seems similar. Okay, white dial, black dial at first. I'm sure they're going to go through every color. I still like my original Samurai with the Pepsi colorway very much. So this is not for me, but if you don't have a Samurai, maybe check it out. Then there's the Monster as well, a watch that never really appealed to me. Looks like they keep pretty low specs on this one, 4R35 movements, hard legs. Yeah, not really my type of watch, but if you love it, just know that it's coming out as well. Then we have a bit more Save the Ocean stuff, Turtle here, and what is that, the Samurai. And I did mention the new Alpinist. What I didn't mention is the size is shrunk down to 38 millimeters, now that it has lost the compass bezel around, and obviously the second crown. I really don't know what to think about this one. It's sort of a field watch, I suppose. And then in the Presage range, we have more very colorful dials. Remember probably the cocktail time that are quite popular. I honestly don't really like those watches too much. I think it's beautiful objects, beautiful dials in themselves. But if you're going to attract so much attention, then you need something a bit more solid than a Seiko. You know, if people are going to look at your watch, I'd rather have a Moser or a glass shooter original than a Seiko at the cocktail time at the bar. And I certainly wouldn't want to wear such a watch at the office. And for the quartz guys, of course, the Astron is coming back in a different format. Again, not really my cup of tea. But it was the original quartz, and some people love this kind of watch, this kind of look. I'm sure it's one watch that could probably survive the apocalypse that we're about to live. All right, guys, speak to you in the next one. Bye-bye.